トラム乗り場がありましたね。ウェイトタイム20分。サファリカーは別料金っぽいんですけど、このトラムはチケットがあれば入れるみたいです。はい、トラムが来ました。めちゃくちゃ長い。さあ乗り込みましょう。できれば端っこがいいんだが、ここでいっか。ラッキー。はい、ではここから行きましょう。あんまり喋らないようにします。
Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Rhonda. I'm going to be your tour guide for the next 25 to 30 minutes. As we make our way around the African savannah, we're going to check out some incredible animals. Wait till you see them. We're going to talk about some of their behaviors and some stories. But before we get too far, if everybody could help me out, please give your doors a gentle jiggle on either side. Okay, cool. And then please don't lean on those doors because they merely are latched and they're not secured, okay? Also, if we could keep all arms, legs, limbs, children, and equipment inside the tram at all times, as well as stay seated while we're moving, that would be greatly appreciated. And last but not least, this is really important, everyone. If you have a medical emergency, please look up to the ceiling in the last two trams. You'll see two yellow strips. Please have someone push the yellow strips so that we can take care of you, okay? Those of you directly behind me don't have that. I do have my window open so you can yell at me. My name's Rhonda. Wave me down, whatever we need to do, okay? So we can take care of you. That's the business end of it. Let's get out here and go start our safari. We're going to check out the African savannah to the left. Look at it out there. Oh my goodness, get your cameras ready, folks. Really looking beautiful. We got a lot of different species right here. Closest to us laying down is a little giraffe. Now we have a tower of giraffe out here. These are East African giraffe, also known as the reticulated giraffe. Giraffes are known to be a keystone species, which means they have a huge part in the biodiversity of the entire ecosystem here. So they play a huge part. The same with the rhinos. They do as well also. The giraffes are the tallest land mammals, being in at 18 feet tall. Now we have a couple of rhinoceros right in the center there. That's a mom and her little daughter there. That is, looks like it's Casey with her baby Alice. Alice is 2 years old. Now southern white rhinoceros, they can weigh anywhere between 4,000 to 6,000 pounds. And their heads alone are about 900 pounds. They'll have a huge muscle where their neck meets their back to be able to suspend that. Unfortunately, rhinoceros are critically endangered because of those beautiful horns. It is thought by some cultures that the rhinoceros horn has medicinal properties. But guess what, guys? If you feel your fingernails, you just felt a rhinoceros horn. It's the same stuff. It's called keratin. So please don't support any rhinoceros or any exotic animal products. Also, out beyond, you see another rhino kind of in the green belt and laying down, and beyond them, those are wildebeest. Look at, we got the wildebeest. Many of you may remember the wildebeest from The Lion King. Look how awesome they are. They're that grayish, that gray antelope out there. Sometimes they're called blue new, but they're wildebeest. Now the wildebeest do something really cool. It's called synchronized birthing. Many of you may be familiar with their incredible trek across the Serengeti. It's the longest migration that any land mammal does. And they will give birth in the same 2 to 3 weeks. So they have safety in numbers. You always see those millions of wildebeest on the move. That's why they do that. Well, that sure was a good start to our day here. Let's keep rolling. We're going to make our way out to South Africa. Off to the right, you might see some of our crowned cranes. They're walking real close to the wall here. They have a beautiful crown on top of their head. That plumage looks like a bottle brush even, but look at the grass, like right here to the left, and you can see why they have that. They can stand in that grass and get seeds and get graze, and they'll blend in really well. They camouflage super well. Those are the crowned cranes. Now once again, my name is Rhonda, and I want to thank you all for coming here today. Just by coming through one of our 2 front doors, being the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, or our sister entity, the San Diego Zoo. You're here to support our Wildlife Alliance, where we do hope to see all life thrive. And to do that, we are supporting 8 different conservation hubs, or regions, if you will. We're going to be talking a lot about the African savanna regions, and we're also going to be talking about our indigenous native species around us right here as part of our preserve. Now, off to the right, this is the Makitakan Rhino Rescue Center. One of our males was out here earlier today, but he likes to go behind the berm. I still point this out because what you're looking at is what the face of extinction looks like. There's nothing there. And we only have currently 2 northern white rhinoceros left in the entire world. They're both females and they are in Africa. They're mom and daughter and they're functionally extinct. So here at the Makitakan Rhino Rescue Center, we actually have 8 female southern white rhinoceros that we're hoping will become surrogate moms and give birth to a new breeding herd of northern white rhinos by using the DNA from at our frozen zoo and also by in vitro fertilization and artificial insemination. We have a long ways to go. We've had 2 successful southern white rhinoceros artificial insemination births. They have an extremely comprehensive breeding system, so we need to keep working on that. You can check it out at the Makitakan Rhino Rescue Center on our webpage and also on our Instagram. All right, let's keep rolling. We're going to make our way to South Africa, which is clear across the pond here. You can see some animals out there. So we're going to keep cruising so we can find the animals. I do have a question for you guys, a little trivia. What year did the San Diego Zoo Safari Park actually open up? So, was it A, 1961, B, 1972, or C, 1983? How about 61? Anybody? How about 72?
Yep.
How about 83? Actually, you guys, that said 72 winners. That's when it was. We are 50 years old. Pretty incredible. Yay. Up to the top, I'm going to slow down here. Look to the right. You'll see a whole dazzle of zebra up there in our off exhibit area. This is they're way, way up at the top. That's actually our female herd or family herd of Grevy zebra. Now, Grevy zebra are endangered. And we've actually had 129 foals born here to help with their SSP or Species Survival Plan. That is one of our projects that we're working on to help support the African savannas as well. We're going to continue on. We are entered into South Africa. Let's see, I'm going to go up on the top right. You can see up by the barn. We have some Somrang's gazelle. Aren't they beautiful? Somrang's gazelle have what we refer to as cryptic coloration. That means they blend in really well with their habitat. So they live out in the sand dunes. They're going to blend in with those tan backs, and white bellies will reflect heat from the sun to help regulate their body temperatures. Both males and females look exactly alike. They all have horns. That's because they have to compete against each other for their own resources, for food and water. Let's look off to the left, and we got a nice view. Look at, there's quite a few herds out here laying down. Now, when they're laying down like these sable antelope closest to us, those are the chocolate brown antelope that you see. Those are not, they're not really sleeping. Everybody says, oh, the animals were just sleeping. This is actually a very important behavior that they're doing. You can see the herd up ahead, above them on the green belt. Those are the Patterson eland. They're doing the same thing. And that is, they are being very aware of their surroundings to keep themselves and their whole herd safe. Closest to us, check out these guys. These are the Maasai giraffe right here. Beautiful picture for you guys. Look how beautiful they are. Now the Maasai giraffe, look at someone looking around the corner after you went by the tree. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Now these beautiful giraffe are going to be much giraffe that we passed through. Darker. They are from a different region, so you can see that they have different coloration. They still are going to be considered a keystone species. They still stand 18 feet tall, and they're going to make a huge difference to the topography and landscaping of their environment. We have our male over here kind of demonstrating that as we speak. He looks like he's eating some of the bark. But before I get to him, I want to point out the beautiful antelope walking. That's my favorite one right there. The lavender-like ones that you see with the black striking markings. Those are called Gemsbach oryx. Look at the horns on them. See those side profiles? Those horns on those antelope are about 50 inches in length. So if you look at your bench, it's more than halfway across the size of your bench. And that's what's coming out of the top of their head. They're super sharp. It helps protect them. But more importantly, it also helps them regulate their body temperatures because they radiate heat. You can see Guan, he's trying to reach way up there. I can see his tongue from here. I'll keep coming this way. He's sticking it out. You can see his tongue is 18 inches long. So not only are they 18 feet tall, they have a tongue that's about 18 inches long. So you go from your longest finger down to your elbow. That's about how long the giraffe's tongue is. And that gives them another 1.5 feet to get up into the trees to help disperse seeds, to help disperse pollen, and even disperse protein, because many of the trees will have thorns or protein in their bark that will hit the ground and nourish the ground. So that's why they're a keystone species. Look at right here. These guys are real close to us. You can get a nice close view of those gorgeous horns on those Gemsbach antelope. Isn't that incredible? Just incredible. Oh my gosh. Every time I see them, you guys, I'm just in awe because they're just so gorgeous. All right, we're going to keep moving up here. I like that we're being escorted with them. See, we still have the 3 walking along with us. Isn't that cool? All right, around the corner here, we're going to see another alert circle. And these are cattle, members of the bovine family. These black cattle are called Cape Buffalo. Now, don't dismiss them. Cape Buffalo are in the top 5 fiercest animals in all of Africa. They're extremely fearless and they're very fierce, and they're extremely protective of their family members. So they do pretty much whatever they have to protect them. Then on the right-hand side, we've got some truly wild equines. A couple of them at the feeder right there. These are beautiful Somali's wild ass. They're kind of lavender in color as well with those white bellies to reflect the heat. But look at their legs. The thing that's special about them is they have stripes on their legs. They kind of look like zebra legs, don't they? That's what we call their follow me pattern. So that's going to be how they identify each other within the herd. And more importantly, that's how their foals and their babies are going to be able to find who their mama is. So that's pretty cool. All right, there's another one up on top of the hill, kind of looking out from the shade. Another one on the green hillside here, grazing, looking really pretty. That's a pretty picture. Way up on top, you may see, look way at the back, you might see our dromedary camel. That is Dune. He's chilling out. He's laying down, and you can see him. It looks like a big, almost like a termite mound, but it's actually Dune back there. And dromedary camels will have 1 hump as opposed to the Bactrian camel. That's the camel that has the 2 humps on their back. So I have another question for you guys. What does a camel keep in its hump? Is it A, protein, B, fat, or C, water? So how many people think it's A, protein? How about B, fat?
Fat.
And what about C, water? Ah, got you guys on that one. It's actually B. Those of you that said fat, that is correct. That's where they store fat, because a lot of times, think of where they live, their food resources are very limited, so they have those humps to help draw nutrients so that they can still get by when they can't find a lot of food. All right, we're leaving South Africa, coming up into Central Africa right now. Now this area is very elusive. These are bachelor herds that you're going to see out here. And right across the way from us, look at those beautiful males laying down. That's a bachelor herd of roan antelope on that little green knoll right in the center. They're tan antelopes. They too have the black and white threat masks. You'll see a lot of antelopes that will have these threat masks because they have to look bigger, meaner, and tougher to each other, not just to predators. Because once again, it's pretty harsh out there when you're a wild animal. You have to sometimes compete against your own family for your food. Now, if you're coming from my family, we're the same way. We're competing for our food. Some other families might be the same way. Looking out this way, though, we're coming up on some grubby zebra. These are actually a couple of young stallions that you're going to see here. Now, we, of course, have them separated from the females that we saw a little bit earlier. A nice view of their beautiful stripes. You can see how unique their stripes are. One has thinner stripes and the other one has thicker stripes. They're really unique. They also have a big long mane that makes their necks look even wider, so they look more muscular and stronger to each other because they're going to compete for females. So what happens in the wild with these ungulates or hoofed mammals that we're seeing out here is the family herds or the female herds will give birth to their young, and then the young males will stick together and form these coalitions. Then they break away and they become nomadic, and they'll be on the move. As they mature, they find new herds of females that they're not related to, and then they'll be mature enough to actually compete for those females. That's how the genetics stay kind of clean out in the wild. So we kind of do the same thing here. Now to the right, I saw a red, oh yeah, there's a red fronted gazelle down there. Actually, that's a red lechwe down there, going towards the water. Semi-aquatic antelope. The reason for that is that they have splay hooves. So if you take your hands and you split them like that, that's kind of how their hoof is. So it enables them to walk through the marsh, and many times these animals will completely submerge themselves up to their heads to help hide them from predators. And then we have another clan, that's going to be the female versions of the roan antelope as we're exiting out. You'll see them right there. Those are the roan antelope females. So you can see that they look exactly the same as the males as well. There's a whole bunch right here we can get a better look at. I want you to look at their horns. Now we saw some other horns that were really, really long. These guys have shorter horns in comparison, but look at their ears. Their ears, especially when they flip them back, they're almost as long as their horns. See that? Isn't that great? I love these ears. These ears can actually rotate. If you take your hand, you can rotate it all around. Well, that's what they can do with their ears. So this way they can hear anything from any direction. So not only do they lay in their alert circle, but then they can flip those ears to hear anything and really have a good alert or alarm system, if you will, for any danger, and they can warn each other. Pretty awesome. All right, we're going to keep making our way back to South Africa. Now, the San Diego Zoo Safari Park is made up of 1,800 acres. 900 of it is going to be dedicated to these multi-species exhibits that we see out here, but the other 900 is going to be to the right. This is all part of our preserve. It's actually called the California Coastal Sage Trout, also known as the chaparral, and it's part of our Southwest Conservation Hub. This is also one of the most endangered habitats in the entire world, and it's right here. We only have about 10% of it left due to human encroachment. So as you look out here, you're going to be home and you may see them, to animals like the California mule deer, also the opossum and the opossum and raccoons and coyotes and mountain lions, but also, more importantly, it's going to be home to the burrowing owl, the desert tortoises, and of course the California condor. Now all of those are 3 projects we currently are working on, and they are up at Condor Ridge. I really hope you guys make your way up there and go check them out, especially the condors. They're near and dear to my heart. Back in the 80s, there was only 22 left in the whole time. They were on the brink of extinction, and we have since attached over 500. We've released over 300 into the wild, where they are really doing well. They are thriving, and they are also flying over the Big Sur area and also in the Grand Canyon. Many guests have actually gone out there and have seen them and have gotten pictures of them soaring in the wild, and it's on my bucket list. So try to make it up there. They're the largest North American flying bird at 9-foot wingspan. So the bench you're sitting on is 7 feet. Add another foot on either side if the condor was sitting in the middle with you. Pretty crazy, huh? Couple of Patterson eland. Oh, here we go. They're closer to us up here. So off off to the left, we're looking at some beautiful Patterson eland. On the right is an Ellipson waterbuck. We have them out here. We're going to see them in a little bit. That's the dad to what we might see some of his babies out here. You can see they have that elliptical ring. So he's that beautiful male that's walking away from us right now. He's got a kind of labyrinth kind of horns. You can see really gorgeous. Isn't he amazing? And he's quite large. So in comparison to the females, as we creep along here, looking again at our Patterson eland laying down, they're the ones that have beautiful horns that are like branches, and they will wrap the greenery, the branches around them to actually get their food. And then closest to us, this is one of the Ellipson waterbuck females on the left-hand side. We're gonna, when we turn around the corner there, I'm gonna see if we see the baby. Oh, I see one of the babies between. You gotta look beyond the log when I come up here. And then on the right-hand side, we're looking in North Africa. We have the one I want to really point out to you are the white antelope that you see. Those are going to be the scimitar horned oryx. That's another animal that is extinct in the wild, and they too have very long horns that are about 56 inches in length. They were extinct in the wild in 2016. We've had over 600 born, and they are now we're working with our partners across the world, getting them re-released into the wild. And the cattle that are right here that I'm sure are getting everybody's attention, these are the Antelope cattle, and these are the only domesticated animal that we have here. So they are doing fine, but they are here to represent tribesmen, as they are going to be status symbols for them. So let's go ahead and continue making our way around the corner and see if we get a better view of those babies. As I round the corner here, I want you to look at a couple of these trees. This one in particular, I'm going to have my hand out to it right here on the left. Look at the thorns on it. And believe it or not, that is one of the giraffe's favorite foods. It's called a gum tree, also known as a acacia tree. Now those trees are going to have those very sharp, long thorns on it. The giraffe could manipulate its tongue in between them, but if they eat it, they have a thick, viscous saliva that will actually break it down, so it doesn't cause any issue in their digestive system. Out to the left, we're still looking at some of the Ellipson waterbuck. Those are the shaggy brown antelope under the tree. They're laying down. If you have binoculars, you might be able to see the little baby. There's one right on the edge there, and there's one right in the middle of them laying down. Those are the ones with the elliptical ring. That is a follow-me pattern. And then laying down the littlest guys with the black racing stripes on their sides. Those are called springbok antelope. They happen to be one of the cheetah's favorite meals. But the thing is, the cheetah is the fastest land mammal. It can go 70 miles an hour. So think about that when you're driving down the freeway. That's incredible. However, they are sprinters, so they run out of gas real quick. The little antelope, like the springbok and the Constance gazelle that we saw earlier, are very nimble, and they have a lot of endurance. So they're like little ever-ready bunnies that can just keep going. So that's how they can elude getting caught by their predator, by outlasting them. Now we just passed the water reclamation plant. I know I think I was speaking with some of you about the drought that we're still going to have. Due to global warming, we're still going to have drought, so we're not out of the water-ish situation, unfortunately. So please, as much as it is important for us to save animals from the brink of extinction, it's really important for us to make sure we sustain our natural resources, especially that of water. So please, everyone, be sure to check your pipes at home for any leaks. Make sure you don't have any dripping faucets. Also, you want to make sure you turn the hoses off, turn the sprinklers off. Make sure you fill up your washing machine. Do what you can to make sure you save water. Because not only will you save thousands of gallons of water, but you might save money on your water bill. It really helps out the environment, and that's a huge approach to it. We're going to continue around the corner, and we're back in East Africa. See if I see a cheetah out there. So looking into East Africa, gosh, it's so beautiful out there. Going to get a little closer view of our beautiful East African giraffe, and then our beautiful rhinoceros. You can see that little baby, she is kind of crashed out, so she's the exception of one of the animals out here just sneezing. Looking pretty good with her mama right there. Just view of our beautiful southern white rhinoceros right there coming up. You can see that beautiful horn. Why these animals are so impressive. Now the animals are their heads are so huge, you might notice their eyes are really tiny. So the rhinoceros does not have good vision. They do, however, have an excellent sense of smell and hearing. They're also called the square-lipped rhinoceros. That's why they are white or white for square-lipped, because they are grazers. As we continue on, you can see that truck out there. That's one of our safari trucks, one of our wildlife safaris. It goes right into that habitat. Look how close they are to that crash of rhinoceros. That's what we call a group of rhinos. And then we're rounding the bend. You can still see the wildebeest up there. And then it looks like we have some lowland and some impala that are on the hillside as well. The impala are two-tone, so we call that dichromatic coloration. And they are actually really good about jumping, broad jumping. They can jump about 30 feet like across the road. So if they're in a dead run, they can just clear a roadway if they have to in a real quick area. Very impressive. They have a lot of these animals really have some incredible adaptation that nature gave them to help survive. Off to the right, on top of the hill, is a restaurant. If you want to see more of the animals in East Africa, there's still quite a few down at the north end. You can go to the watering hole. It's a full-service restaurant. They have adult beverages too. Or you can make your way to the Kalima Point. And to get there, you'll go leave the station, go to the right. You can pass our lionesses, which look like they're up in the window as this is on. Oh, there's two of them. One of them's looking up. You got to look behind yourselves, guys, and you'll see a little head peeking out by where the logs are. One of our lionesses. The two of them are up there. We have 3 Transvaal lionesses. But you can make your way up there, and then you can go to, after you pass the lionesses, you can continue making your way to the right to go to Kalima Point to see more of the animals, and eventually even see if you can find the elephants out that way. My name is Rhonda. If you have any questions, feel free to come to the end of the dock and ask me. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming and joining me today, and I want to wish you all a great journey home tonight. Please wait till I come to a complete stop and you can allow yourself out on the ride. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
はい、アフリカントラムでした。いや、すげえなこれ。ちょっとこのトラムは別のじゃなくて GoPro で撮ったんで、また別の動画で上げさせてもらいますね。それはそれで別で。